Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Jeff and Justin on the road. As you can see, we're back on the road. We just spent a really awesome, incredible week in Bend, Oregon. Shout out to Buoy Brewing Co for the hat. We'll tell you a little bit more about our trip in Bend once we're parked, but we're trading in Central Oregon for the Oregon coast. That's right, we're heading west to park ourselves along the coast. We're gonna explore Tillamook, hopefully Astoria, where they shot the Goonies, and just kind of enjoy a little beach action. So we're gonna go ahead and continue this journey west, and we'll see you guys on the coast.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you for the cocktail.
You're welcome. I don't have a name for this, but this is essentially Scotch Whiskey, decaffeinated espresso shots, almond milk and some vanilla and some brown sugar. It's a warm your belly kind of a drink.
Maybe we'll put the recipe down in the description so people can try making it at home. And
think of us.
Here we are, we're parked. We're in Depoe Bay, Oregon, right on the Oregon coast.
We're a little bit south of a fairly large town here on the coast called Lincoln City. We are at a
Good Sam's.
Good Sam. I keep calling it Sam Goody.
Sam Goody's
The old
long
record store.
gone.
I'm still going to call it Sam Goody because that's how my brain works.
It's fun for us too.
So we're at a Sam Goody RV park here along the coast.
Like you saw in the last video, we spent the first couple days up the Northern California coast, sort of boondocking it. We didn't boondock it out in Bend, and also we're not boondocking it here just to get our last bit of work done.
Yeah.
I finish up a project this week, and you've got some more consulting that you're doing, and so before we chase Starbucks Wi-Fi's and Walmart, we're just going a little easy on ourselves. Next week is a different story. We plan to go up
Dun, dun, dun.
we plan to go up the Washington coast in the middle of the week.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, we're staying here for the week. Last week we were in Bend for the whole week, and so we're kind of gonna do our winging it next week, which should be fun. But I still feel like this is such a valuable experience for us because we're not parked next to your little brother's house, and we're not parked next to my parents' house still.
Right.
So where we really still are living full time out of the van with the comfort of hookup. So maybe we've taken one training wheel off, leaving our families, and we still have one more on with full hookup. So next week we'll take both training wheels off, and then we're going. But we've learned to really maneuver around the van. We've actually got rid of things in Bend.
We've made some adjustments, right?
Yeah.
I think Bend and arriving here today has taught us we need to make some slight adjustments to where we're keeping things. And although I say slight adjustment, in a space this small, a slight adjustment is a pretty significant one, I think. So we keep paring away at things, and we keep adjusting things to make it better.
We're learning the van. But before we continue to talk about the lovely Oregon coast, we need to talk about our stay in Bend.
Yeah, let's talk about Bend.
If love at first sight could apply to a city, I'd probably say that was Bend.
I mean, the trees and the hills and the appearance of it has a vibe of a smaller town.
Yeah.
Something that I feel familiar with, definitely from my upbringing.
We got very lucky with where we decided to stay. We found this really, really cool, modern-looking RV park that was sort of right at the center of the city. It's in Northeast Bend, but sort of within walking distance from a lot of downtown, just very central. You could get to a lot of things from where we were walking, and the camp is pretty cool. There's
barbecues, there were tables and umbrellas out, like a seating area.
Cornhole. We played a little bit of cornhole.
We had fun playing cornhole. We had laundry that worked with Apple Pay on our watches.
We were spoiled at the camp.
Staying outside of town, out on public lands or boondocking outside of city limits is cool, but kind of inconvenient for when we want to sit and have some pints at the local brewery.
And then we kind of had to remind ourselves that even before living in the van, Bend was a city we wanted to explore. We knew that Bend was sort of going to be somewhat vacation mode for us because we really, really wanted to explore Bend. And so, although we feel a little guilty for paying what we paid, we were still in the middle of the city and got to do a bunch of fun stuff. Although, right when we arrived, it was nice and sunny, we were hit with rough rain.
Yeah.
Which didn't stop us from going out.
It didn't.
We walked to
Deschutes
Brewery.
Yeah.
It was, and even though we've been to the one in Portland, it was a little bit more special being at the one in Bend because of, we were in Deschutes County.
You can hear the rain hitting the tin roof above us, and we're sitting out on the patio in front of Deschutes with heaters, so we're warm. We get to listen, just a few drops of water. We get to listen to the rain, and it just feels like the full experience. So, loving it. That was a really cool experience for us.
I agree.
We did beer tasting, and the Deschutes beers are just
awesome,
incredible.
And that was pretty much one of the last days of rain that we got during the week because it had really, really cleared up for the rest of the week.
Really opened up our ability to take Rye out for really long walks, which he was in love with.
We kind of expanded what we knew of Bend. Being able to walk all the way across Drake Park and around and across the bridge, it really gave us a big scope of what this city had to offer, which was really cool.
We ended up one day deciding, let's go do Pilot's Butte.
Yeah.
Which, Pilot's Butte is this volcanic hill. Bend is sort of built out and from the Butte. It sits at the center of town.
Also within walking/running distance from the camp.
Yeah.
So if you're staying at the camp, not only are you within walking distance from Deschutes and all these other cool breweries.
Go the other way.
If you go the other way, you're within walking/running distance to Pilot's Butte. And you get this great 360-degree view of the city of Bend and all the surrounding mountains and peaks.
You could see the famous peaks called the Sisters. You can see
Mount Hood.
Yeah. All the real big mountains. It's just a gorgeous view all around.
And
snow-capped. I mean, it was just absolutely gorgeous up there.
That weekend, the weather got even warmer.
Yeah.
And there is another brewery smack dab in Old Town Bend called Bend Brewing Company. They have this really, really awesome outdoor beer garden that just overlooks Drake Park and Mirror Pond, and you could just have a beer and just hang out, and dogs are welcome, which is great for Rye because he got to join us.
You're sitting out in the grass, enjoying your beer out in the sun, so it's this very relaxed atmosphere, super cool. But I think it was a really fun way to sort of close out our eating and drinking of
absolutely
Bend, and especially getting our last good beers. But it saved for our last adventure in Bend. We saved for the very last day.
Yeah.
Which was what?
The last Blockbuster on Earth.
That's right.
How could we not go to Bend knowing that the last Blockbuster on Earth was in this city?
That's right.
And then not go. Also, walking distance from the camp.
That's right.
The camp is pretty central. Man, nostalgia.
Oh yeah.
All around us.
The colors, the signage, the layout of the store. You walk in that one door to do your loop around, and you have to check out and walk out the other door.
Right.
The return, please return. Be kind, rewind.
Yeah. You actually you were looking at a movie on a shelf, and I reminded him, you have to look behind the movie.
That's right.
To see if there were copies left. If there were no, I mean, the worst thing in the world is when you went to a Blockbuster, and the movie you wanted or the game you wanted, you saw it on the display case, and you peek over and there's nothing behind it.
Hey, look at this. Check this out. From 9,000 locations down to just one. The last Blockbuster.
That's this one.
Last Blockbuster.
Maybe the only thing that was unique about this last Blockbuster on Earth is that they really own being the last Blockbuster. I mean, how can they not?
They have merch.
They have last Blockbuster merch just at the center of the store, and you can buy t-shirts and koozies.
They own it. They realize that probably the majority of people who are coming in there to experience the last Blockbuster.
Yeah.
But we did see some people coming in there to drop a movie off.
Yeah, we did. People were there to actually rent movies and stuff, which I think is awesome. And that kind of wrapped up our trip in Bend. And now, I know it didn't sound like we did much. I mean, there's still so much more in Bend to do. We didn't do any of the major hikes. I mean, we didn't do Smith Rock, which everyone recommended Smith Rock.
Yeah.
But we're hoping that that just gives us
A reason to go back.
A reason to go back. And I'd be heartbroken if that was the last time we ever went to Bend. Like,
yeah, and I think that this is just a really good example of how we are doing this adventure because, you know, we're still working. We're balancing exploring with working. But if we had a full wide open week,
oh yeah,
we definitely know of a lot of things we would have wanted to fit in.
We're just taking what our daily routine was back home in Southern California on the road.
Right.
And still being able to explore all these great cities and towns around the country. So what you don't see is that we're spending a majority of our day actually in the van, doing work, getting chores done, just like you would at
doing laundry, washing bedding.
Anything you would normally do at home.
Right.
We're gonna do as much as we can to explore, and we're really looking forward to heading further up north. We're hoping this weekend to explore Astoria,
Yeah.
which is where they shot the Goonies, for you film buffs.
And Tillamook
And
cheese.
Tillamook for you cheese buffs.
For you cheese buffs. I see you. And so that's been Bend, and we can't wait to show you what we experience here along the coast.
Yeah. Rainy day, rainy morning, which means, what are we making?
Fresh baked cinnamon rolls. This is our Omnia. It's a stovetop oven. Uses it has a center cone that allows heat to travel up into the center well, and it circulates heat around the food. So it acts as an oven using the stovetop, so we can still bake in the van.
This is kind of how we're doing the van life weekday morning. If you want to look at my desk here, we got both of our computers powered on, doing a little work, having some cinnamon rolls, some coffee, as our dog is on squirrel patrol. So this is what a weekday morning is like for us. Fun things about riding in this van, driving it, is that everything behind us is kind of a fun game of what's that noise. I feel like we haven't yet mastered the driving configuration of our living space. So a lot of things rattling and falling, and it's always a surprise of like, turn back, what was that noise? Made it inside. There was a long line, but we made it. And how excited are you?
Very excited. I'm hungry.
All right, we're going on this tour.
In less than 24 hours, they turned milk into cheese or ice cream.
Did you know Queen Elizabeth II sampled Tillamook cheese? Cool. Quiz. What product did we introduce in 1903?
Cheese.
Sour cream.
my
No,
gosh.
cheese was a lot earlier than that. I wish we could say that we were sponsored by Tillamook, but we're not. I wish.
Tillamook. Look us up.
Look us up, Tillamook. Gonna sponsor this video.
Yeah.
More than happy to.
Have your people reach out to our people.
What flavor ice cream did you get?
I got mudslide and Oregon dark cherry.
I got the monster cookie, and the other one I got was the white chocolate raspberry yum. Now I know why they added the yum to the end of the name, because they're all yum.
Everyone has seen Goonies, but for those that haven't, this is from the opening scene of Goonies, where one of the Fratelli brothers is in jail, and this is the jail, now the Oregon Film Museum, and parked out front is the ORV four-wheel drive bullet holes, with the bullet holes in the parking lot out front. So this is Goonies, I don't know, physical memorabilia, life-size, right here for everybody. Pretty cool. The Goonies is definitely top 2 or 3 movies ever for me. One of those movies that you pop in and you're immediately transported to childhood. So, pretty cool to be in Astoria.